Hey guys, it's Ginger here, and I wanted to make a quick, simple, and short video about how to improve your vocals while recording. So I'm going to split this video up into two sections. The first section is more of like physical things you can actually do, for instance, like opening your mouth more. The second section is more mental things, for instance, enjoy yourself, things like that. So let's jump into it before you click away. So the first thing is practicing before you get into the studio. I just recorded with David Barron. He's a very well-known music producer, and before I went to go record, I knew that I could at least sing all the songs, and I knew most of the lyrics already. When you make sure you practice, it actually boosts your confidence because you know what you're doing and you know what you're singing, and you can focus more on like the feel, and you can listen to yourself more instead of like only thinking about the lyrics and how the song should go. I don't know if that makes sense, but that is how I approach things. So tip number 2 is to loosen up with warm-ups. I never did this as a vocalist until maybe 2 years ago. And this was a godsend when I was recording in New York. So I'm gonna do a before and after. So I haven't warmed up my voice. I haven't really talked that much this morning, and you can tell I just sound sort of like I just woke up. And I'm going to show you what kind of a difference having a proper warm-up makes. So this is what I sound like before I warm up. Life is cypress trees and poppy fields, herds of goats and handmade meals. That's a new song I just released, by the way. You can view it below. So that's what I sound like before I warm up. When I roll up, when I warm up, not roll up, I'm not a fruit roll up. When I warm up, I usually do 3 very simple things. So the first thing is I do a lip roll, which is literally just going like this with a melody, going up and then down. I'll give you an example. So start low because that's where your voice is right now before you warm up. At least that's how my voice works. And this is what I do. I can't smile when I do it. I've never seen my face do it before. And I just progressively get higher and higher until I am sort of singing the highest note of the song that I'm about to sing. So the highest note that I'm about to sing is, life is, so I need to get all the way up to, and make it a gradual climb. I look so stupid. It's already so much easier to hit that note. Okay, so that's the first thing I do, the lip roll. The second thing is I breathe through my diaphragm, and I only breathe like 3 deep breaths, but I'll show you what I mean. Should have taken this off before I started. As you can see, my chest is hardly moving, and the breath is actually coming from my stomach. So this is a chest breath. I'll show you what not to do. And this is the diaphragm breath. My chest won't move. I don't know what the physics are of that or the technical reasons why that works, but when you breathe with your diaphragm, there's just much more power, and you can take deeper breaths. This means that you're able to give your vocals more energy. Number 3, stretching my face. So when I sing, I have a tendency to keep my mouth really closed and make the pronunciation bad, if that makes sense. So when I stretch my face, I'm not gonna watch myself when I do this because I know I'm gonna look really stupid and make myself laugh. But I'm literally just like waking my face up. So when I sing, I'm able to express myself in a very like open way, if that makes sense. So this is what I do. I literally just stretch my face out. So when I sing, for instance, this is a great example. When I sing, life, I'm able to open my mouth. Life is cypress tree. And so if you know anything about music theory, this is the 4th way I warm up. Scales. So this ensures that I'm singing on key when I sing. I have good pitch. I don't usually do this because I have a pretty good sense of pitch, but if I'm feeling pitchy, I can go through scales. So this is the key of the song. I think it's in C sharp. And I might not even be singing a C sharp, but whatever. actually kind of high for me to sing there. Super simple. I don't like to do big warm-ups, but I just keep it super simple. Okay, now I'll do after warming up. Life is cypress trees and poppy fields, herds of goats and handmade meals, Louis Armstrong songs as we stumble along. It's much easier for me to sing. I don't know if you can hear the difference, but I'm able to feel that like I'm open and I'm able to hit all the notes, and it's not hard. That's tip number 2. Warm up. It makes a difference. Tip number 3 is to try to smile while you're singing. Now you don't have to go, life is cypress trees, but you don't want to go, life is cypress trees and poppy fields, because it just sounds like you're not enthusiastic about singing, in my opinion. So when I sing, I try to sort of like keep a half smile on my face, because I enjoy listening to my voice more when I sound like I'm happy to sing. So when I sing, I try to like, I'll show you, I try to go like this. Life is cypress trees and poppy fields, herds of goats and handmade meals. It makes a big difference. Number 4, I didn't number these, so I'm gonna count for everyone. Number 4, sing energetically, as if you want to be there singing. Sometimes when we sing, we just sort of get into our motion. Our mode. We get into our motion. We get into our mode and we just kind of forget like what we're not really in the moment of singing. Sometimes our mind even drifts away as we're singing because we're so used to what we're singing because we practiced a lot. So when you're singing, try to express that you want to be there while you're singing. Try to sound excited that you're singing this piece. Think about it. People are listening to you and they want to hear that you want to be there. They want to feel like they're listening to somebody who's having a good time. There's nothing worse than hanging out with somebody or watching someone and it's like they don't want to be there. It just isn't fun. So another thing is when you're singing, you can go from your natural pronunciation and the natural way you talk into singing. So for instance, when I say, life is cypress trees and poppy fields, that's the natural way I would say that. And so I don't know if I can sing the way I used to, but I used to not sing with my natural pronunciation. I would go something like, life is cypress trees and poppy fields, poppy. It's almost like I would be afraid to make that poppy fields. Yeah, sort of like that, poppy fields. And as you can see, my mouth literally closed as I was doing that. So don't be afraid to like lean into that over pronunciation and that poppy fields, like that natural way you actually speak. Because again, there's nothing worse than being around someone who's like faking the way they talk or being fake in any way. So this may be like way deeper than anyone gets into it, but I like to just try to be as genuine as I can. And so that's actually a great way to lead into the mental tips that I have, but there's actually one more thing I want to talk about, and that is, this is not the mic I usually sing with, but I can at least show you an example. When you're singing, you just want to make sure you're always keeping a consistent distance from the microphone. So you don't want to sing some lines like this and then back away and then, you know, sing like this and then like this and then sing like this again. It just makes it really hard for the vocal to sound consistent, and it's harder on the producer's end to like keep your vocal sounding consistent because there's not really much you can do to make your voice sound closer when you're singing far away. That's at least something that I've learned. If you're singing a really loud note, you can just sort of move your head to the left or right a little bit because it makes your voice quieter. But yeah, just try as much as you can to keep a consistent volume and keep a consistent distance from the microphone. And I mean, there we go. So this brings us to the mental things. Now this video is getting long, I'm sorry, but this is all really important stuff. So as I mentioned earlier, don't try to sound like anyone else. Use your genuine voice, even if you think it sounds stupid, which I did. I used to think my genuine voice sounded dumb and silly. Because people, that's what people actually want. They actually want to hear a genuine, real person. And in my opinion, it's because there's so much fakeness in the world, and there's so many people trying to sound like somebody else and trying to get famous, that when somebody comes across and they're just singing as their natural selves, and you can tell that they're not trying to put on a front, it's almost like a breath of fresh air, and it's more enjoyable to listen to somebody like that. Again, it's just my opinion, but when you listen to somebody like Taylor Swift, she doesn't sound like anybody else. Just saying. The next mental tip, this is mental tip number 2 out of 4. The video's almost over, I promise. Realize that people really want to hear you having fun. Again, they really want it to sound like you're enjoying yourself when you sing. Sometimes recording can be stressful. Sometimes it can be a little boring because you're singing the same parts over and over again. But try to remember that people hear emotion, and they can hear if you are enjoying yourself and having a good time while you record. So when you're recording, make sure you've slept well, make sure you're in a good headspace, because all that stuff can actually come through too. If you're tired and hungry, you're not going to be giving a very good vocal performance, and you're going to sound like you're tired and hungry. And who wants to hang out with somebody who's hangry? So it's okay to take breaks. This is like attached to tip number 2. It's okay to take breaks. It's good to take breaks. It's actually good to go play with your dog, or go take a break, go call a friend, get out of the mind space of the song, and then come back with a fresh mind. It really helps. It really, really does. It just helps your brain sort of reset, and then you can come back with a whole new sense of purpose, a whole new sense of drive, and it comes through your vocals. It definitely did for me when I was recording. Tip 3 and 4 are very short. Tip number 3 is your vocals are likely to be edited and tuned. It's just how vocals work, so make sure you're okay with that. I've worked with artists as like I was just somebody in the room with the vocalist, and this has happened once, and the vocalist like didn't really like the fact that her vocals were being tuned, but that's just how the world works in the music business. Things are just going to be tuned and edited and time aligned and all kinds of stuff. Trust the producer and just be okay with what he has to do to make it sound even better than how you sound. It's almost like he's polishing a shoe. He's just polishing your vocals. It's still you singing. Tip number 4, realize that this is not the last recording you're ever going to do in your life, and enjoy it. Again, people can hear whether or not you're having a good time, and have a good time. Document the moment, take videos, take pictures, enjoy it. And if you're enjoying yourself, it will come through on your recordings. Thanks for watching, guys. This was sort of a longer video. I wasn't intending it to be long, but I had a lot of tips to share. And a lot of this stuff I've learned from David Barron. He gave me a lot of tips while I was in there, and this is just a way that I can share it with you, and hopefully you can make your vocals sound even better, because I know they're already great. The song I was singing was called Super 8. It's a single, my first ever real single that I've released on Spotify, and you can listen to it in the link below. Check it out. It's really, really a great song. One of the trumpet players, Chris Hazen, or the trumpet player. I can't remember the band he played for. Yeah, there's a trumpet solo. I'm not going to tell you where, but you'll hear it. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm also posting more on TikTok. You can click the link below and watch some of my really funny TikToks that I'm posting, because they are really funny and cool and awesome. And so is my song. So watch my song. Listen to my song. Watch my TikTok. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy writing and singing.